And a good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, director at WEIU. My co-host making his initial appearance, Alex Sipman.
Good
pull
afternoon,
Pull that
Jeff.
mic a little bit close to you.
Good
and our
afternoon.
guest today is Ryan Millar. He's the EIU head volleyball coach as well as the beach volleyball coach. Welcome, Coach Millar.
Thanks. Good to be here. Good to be with you guys.
I'm glad you're here. You had a busy weekend this weekend over, I believe, at Indiana State. So
That's right.
Why don't you recap the weekend and we'll get into the volleyball program.
Yeah, it's nice because we were on the road. We had some longer travel before, and to go to Indiana State, the travel was not long at all, which was kind of nice. But we started off the weekend playing against Indiana State. It's their own tournament. And, we kind of came into the match on a little bit of a high coming off of 5 wins in a row. I think we were feeling pretty good, but to Indiana State's credit, they came out and kind of gave it to us a little bit, and we didn't play our best match, and that's what happens at this level, and this no matter who you're playing. I mean, if you don't bring it every single night or every single, I guess it was afternoon, you're at a possibility to get beaten, and they pretty much beat us in every aspect of the game, and when you can't win important aspects of playing volleyball, it's going to be tough to win. So we took our first loss, and it was tough. I think the girls recognized that we didn't play our best volleyball, but there's lots of learning opportunities there, and we will learn from that. And then the next day was an interesting day because we knew going in that we had a back-to-back match. So we played the University of Montana in the morning and had a really, really good battle against them. Probably should have went into the fifth set, but they pulled out another win against us 3-1. But I thought the girls played much, much better, and the team in general just played better. And then we really had like a 30-minute turnaround. Wow. So it was like literally the girls were
and go, right?
trying to drink something, maybe stretch a little bit, maybe grab a wrap or a sandwich. And then we were right back on the court again against Butler.
Oh, Butler,
that afternoon match, and surprisingly, the girls really, really came with the right stuff in that match because Butler's a good team, and they didn't look tired at all. They had a lot of energy, and we put together a nice match and got back on the win streaks.
There you go. So 6-2 to start the year, still a good start, right? And you ended the weekend with a strong knowledge. Alex, what do you want to know from Coach?
Do you think the recent changes, including stuff like the new facility, will help the work ethic and morale of the team?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the new facility alone has generated so much enthusiasm around the program. Just to be able to call an existing building like McAfee, who's got so much history. I mean, I've had so many people come up to me and say, I remember taking gym class at McAfee when I went to school here 35 years ago. And everyone talking about how much they love the changes that are being made in the gym. I mean, literally the whole thing is transformed pretty much. It's just a beautiful space for volleyball. And, it's a great recruiting tool for us as well. There's not very many programs can say that they have their own dedicated volleyball facility. So from a morale standpoint, it's been a game changer for the program for sure. The generosity of the Gardella family cannot be understated. We wouldn't be doing any of this without the Gardella family. So it's been a pretty surreal experience to be able to kind of christen that building as our own. And I got to tell you, I mean, we're super, super excited for our conference play coming up just in a couple of weeks when we're finally actually going to be able to get in there and play a conference match against Lindenwood. So that's going to be really exciting for sure.
Speaking of that, but it also helps with practice. Again, you schedule your practices on maybe a more normal time and switch back and forth with, other events in there, plus men's and women's basketball. I mean, it's got to make it a little easier on you, right?
So much easier. So much easier. We're a rare program, and we talk to our girls about the value of this as well as so working with Jen King and her team in the academics department. We actually schedule our practice times around the girls' class times. Most programs don't have the luxury of doing that. Most programs have to schedule practice, and then they have to schedule their classes around practice time. And because we have our own dedicated facility, we can schedule practice whenever we want. We don't have any conflicts, like you said, with basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, even some of the indoor track stuff that they do in there. There's classes that are in Lance and Groninger. It just makes everything so much easier for us.
Talk about the team, your team leaders, and who you rely on when you got to maybe get after them a little bit. Talk about your team.
Yeah, we've got a good mix of players this year. It's interesting. We've got kind of this age gap where we've got a good core group of seniors and then like a really good core group of talented sophomores. And it's almost split in right down the middle between seniors and sophomores in regards to our starting seven. We've got some players that have been with the program a long time that have been around, that know the conference, that know the various teams. Our captains are Emma Schroeder and Catalina Rook-Scheiks. They've both been with the program a number of years now. They're both really great leaders on the court. And I think that leadership is really what's helping us kind of develop our own identity.
Yeah.
Without it, I think the type of culture that we're trying to create without really strong leadership from a player standpoint, there's only so much I can do as a coach. Obviously, culture kind of always reflects leadership. So a lot of the cultural attributes that we have on our team are a direct reflection of my coaching staff, the way I coach, but they're also a reflection of those leaders that step up every single day. And recognize the fact that when we get in the gym, it's about putting in the work and getting in the gym, but it's also about being good student athletes. It's about being good students, about being good stewards on campus. We want people to be excited about the program so that they can come to the matches and enjoy their time. And I think our student body and the community around here is really going to enjoy watching this team play. We're pretty exciting to watch.
That's cool. Alex?
How do you feel your time as a college athlete affects your coaching methods now?
That's a good question, because when I'm going into coaching, I kind of consider myself or describe myself as kind of a player's coach first. The reason why you hear a lot of coaches say that, right? I'm a player's coach. The reason why I say I'm a player's coach is because I know exactly what these athletes are going through. Down to class, to the pressures of trying to compete, solidifying your spot on the team, the dynamics of being a student athlete in a Division I college volleyball program. I literally live that, right? So my ability to kind of relate to some of the pressures that these student athletes are going through is why I consider myself to be a player's coach. But then I always add on, I'm a player's coach with very high expectations because I do not like to lose. I love to win. And my assistant coach loves one of the quotes I use all the time, which is after we win a match, I typically always say, I love winning. It's so much better than losing. It seems pretty commonsensical, but
way out on that one,
so
Coach.
true. So I'm a player's coach with really high expectations, and I hope that I do a good job making sure that my players are clear around what those expectations are, whether it be around how we show up in practice and matches, and then also how we show up in the community, how they show up in the classroom. All of those things are incredibly important to us. So I get where they're coming from, but I also know that when it's time to get after it and do work, that there's an expectation that they're ready to do that work.
We're talking to Ryan Millar today. He's the IU head volleyball coach. As you try to build that fan experience and the game, the game day hype over at Gardella, what are you working on, or what are the people working on? So when people come to that first home match, they're just going to say, "Wow, the wow factor."
Yeah. McAfee is such an interesting experience in itself because in Groninger it's a beautiful arena, but it's big.
Yeah.
McAfee is very different. It's very intimate. When you're in the stands, you're like literally looking down on the court. You're right there. So I think the fan experience is going to be really interesting to be able to feel like you're a little bit more a part of the match, where you're not so disconnected and so far away that you can literally hear us talking in the bench because you're right there, just a couple feet away even. We've put in a lot of work into identifying some marketing structures and some different fan engagement nights. We have 9 home matches this year in conference. Now, we obviously have some lofty targets around potentially and ideally winning the conference, which would then extend our ability to host the conference tournament here as well, which would be fantastic. But we've got targeted set events, fan engagement events in every single home match. And so we're excited to be able to put on a little bit of a show apart from just volleyball, but fan engagement, different giveaways, raffles, different things that are going to be available at the matches to kind of create an environment where people really, really want to come to volleyball and have it be kind of like a massive event on campus. So
One of the things that I was wondering when you got the job is, can you tell us about what led you to come to Eastern Illinois University? You're more of a West Coast person. You had interimed at what is it, Brigham Young, right?
Yeah.
So what led you to Charleston, Illinois?
Yeah. I was in a little bit of a different career field and always knew I wanted to get back into coaching. I'd been doing some coaching things on the side during my time. My wife and I lived in San Diego, and there was a little bit of a pivot in my career, and I thought, okay, if I'm ever going to get back in, I've got to go do it now. And so started looking and talking to a few universities around possibilities, and sent a message to Tom Michael, and he almost immediately wrote me back and was like, yeah, we're really interested in connecting. And we set up a call, and I had a number of checklist items that were important to me.
Yeah.
And fortunate enough for me, and hopefully the program, there's so much going on with what we're doing from a volleyball perspective, whether it be McAfee, opening that up. We just christened our new locker room down there as well, which has been fantastic for the girls. We're literally trying to transition all of volleyball to McAfee as much as we can. And with what's going on with the new beach facility at the new beach facility that's being developed at the sports park, there were quickly a lot of those boxes that were being checked as I was talking with Tom Michael, and it was actually a little bit surprising to me that it was working out so well, and also the relationship with Tom, which to me is really, really important for a head coach to have a good relationship with the athletic department, and Tom being the athletic director. His wife played college volleyball. Their daughter played here.
And he was an okay athlete too.
Yeah, and he's an okay athlete too. And we quickly developed a really good relationship. And like I said, that's super important to me. And so, again, that's like another box checked. And then at the end of that conversation, I'm like, oh, my gosh, like look at all these boxes that are checked. And once we worked out some of the other dynamics, and it was a little bit of like, yeah, this is going to be the right spot for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alex?
What are some specific changes you hope to implement to help the team improve?
This is a big question because, whenever you change wholesale coaching staff, you've got a whole different philosophy on, the efficiency and effectiveness of how the volleyball game is supposed to be played, really. So for me, it was a little bit, I was a little anxious about the many changes that I actually wanted to make, because I thought maybe in the beginning it was going to be too much for the girls, especially the ones that were returners, which we had a good amount coming back. But to this team's credit, they were immediately bought in to all of the different system changes that I was looking to implement, whether it be offensively, defensively, how we're serving, how we're blocking. We made a lot of changes, but I've got a pretty rich volleyball background. I know what good volleyball looks like, and I knew that there were things that we needed to be doing systemically, process-wise, that were going to make us more efficient on the volleyball court. And we have tried to institute those. Now, they're not all easy. If it was easy, then it probably wouldn't mean too much for us. But they've been hard. But to the girls' credit, again, through the preseason and even up to this point in the season, they've really, really done a good job of being a little bit moldable, very open to different coaching and feedback. I mean, there's rarely a day or two that goes by where I don't have a player asking to come to my office to watch video, because they want to see like how they're doing in regards to how efficient they are and some of the changes we're trying to institute and implement so that they can get better and help the team be better. So it's exciting to see.
And for those who don't know, you participated in 3 Olympics. So you do have that background, big background. You won a gold medal, which is awesome. So I know you can't use that to make the girls, listen better, but it's got to be something that they know an Olympic gold medalist is their coach that has to help you in a way, but also has to make them, I would assume, almost aspire to just that next level of volleyball.
Yeah, I hope so. That there is a little bit of instant credibility that comes with having a career like mine. I understand that. I would be in the same boat if I was them. The game's changed quite a bit, but that's okay. It's still volleyball, and I still know and understand what good volleyball looks like. And so, I hope that they see me as somebody that genuinely cares about them as people. I care about, their lives moving even beyond Eastern and beyond, even when they figure out that they don't want to play volleyball anymore. You know what I mean? That's why being a student athlete is so great for them, because it's not only filling their bucket in regards to athletics and what they're trying to do from a volleyball standpoint and the joy that comes with being on a team, but they're also getting a really good education. They're setting themselves up to have a really bright and successful future, I hope. And I'm a steward of that, and I recognize that. And I hope they know that how much I take that seriously, and my coaching staff takes that seriously.
Can you talk about your coaching staff a little bit? Give them some props, who they are and stuff like that?
Yeah. This was interesting because, being a new head coach, obviously that's an important aspect of bringing in a new structure and a new system, is bringing in the right people.
Yeah.
When I came to Charleston in January to visit the campus and sit down with Tom to talk about the role, I also sat down with Paige Gardella, who is my assistant coach. She's had an interesting journey here, because when she first started last year, she was with the former coaching staff as a graduate assistant. Then about 6-7 weeks into the season, one of the setters, who that was the position she played, got injured, and she still had a year of eligibility left. So she went from a coach back to a player.
Oh, wow.
She played the rest of the season with the team, then went back to a coach. Then the coaching staff left. So then she went from kind of going back to a graduate assistant to kind of running the program for a little bit. And then when I got hired, to me, she was a natural no-brainer.
Yeah.
Just she had already established a really, really good cadence and relationship with the girls, not only from a coaching standpoint, but also as a teammate, which is really tough to replicate.
Yeah.
So having her insights on the dynamics of the different personalities on the team and the different skill levels is super, super important for me. So she was a no-brainer to immediately bring on staff, and I was so grateful that she said that she wanted to do that. And then we were able to hire a really, really great graduate assistant who had a really good college volleyball career, and is just a really good fit for what we're trying to create. She's intense. Her name is Kenzie Murray. She's not afraid to speak her mind and have a perspective. I feel like a lot of graduate assistants kind of feel like they need to sit back and just kind of like, watch things happen.
Ease into the job.
Versus actually have a perspective and actually get into the coaching role. And that's just not the type of personality she is. She's not someone that's just going to sit back. If she's got an opinion to share, she's going to share it. And that was really important for both Paige and I to have a GA that was like that, mostly because, our staff isn't huge. And so we can't really have a GA just kind of sit there and not really be able to be involved in the coaching process, because we needed them to be a coach. And she fit that role perfectly. So I really like the dynamic of what we got. We're small, but we're pretty mighty. And I think the results are kind of speaking for themselves. It's been, knock on wood, that it keeps going. We've got a tough weekend this weekend coming up, but, we'll be ready.
Yeah, talk about your schedule and talk about what you know about the OVC. You have to learn a whole new conference, and so talk about that.
Yeah, this weekend's our last weekend in the preseason. We're going to Champaign to play University of Illinois and the University of Iowa State University, and two obviously Big 12, Big 10 schools. It's going to be a tough weekend for sure. But it provides us an opportunity to see what we're kind of made of before we start conference play. And then we've got Lindenwood in our first two matches in our opening weekend in Gardella Court. So, yeah, when I got the job, I kind of dug into the OVC and started doing my due diligence around the teams and who they had coming back and coaching staffs and different styles of play. And, I just saw a lot of opportunity for us to be much more successful than we have been definitely over last year. I mean, the year before in 2023 was a great year for the volleyball program. They won the conference title and played in the NCAA tournament.
Right? Yeah.
And so we want to replicate that. We want to come in. We've got the team to do it. Obviously, we've got to have the right pieces kind of fall into place. But I like the teams that we have coming to Charleston to play us here this year. We've got SEMO coming here. They're kind of a perennial power in the conference for volleyball. We've got Morehead State coming here. They're also a perennial power. Lindenwood typically pretty good. We've got them all here, which is super, super important for us. And it makes us excited to kind of start conference play. I've had a number of girls come up to me and go, hey, the preseason's cool, and going to all these places and playing all these teams that we normally don't play is really great, but I'm really excited to start conference. And I'm like, yeah, that's the right mentality.
And I like the fact that as a first-year coach, your goal is to win conference, not just, hey, we want to get better. I think that says a lot about you, but also tells the girls that, hey, we expect to win.
Yeah, that we've got two what we call our desired outcomes. I typically don't like the term goals because goals is a little bit more aspirational. We want hard results. So we actually labeled them our do's. So desired outcomes, it's what we're going to do. And the first desired outcome is we're going to win the conference. And the second desired outcome is that we are going to be again named to the AVCA, that's the governing body of volleyball, academic team list, which requires a 3.3 cumulative team GPA. So it's those two things. Those are our focus. Everything we do day in and day out are always connected to those two desired outcomes.
There you go. Alex?
What's your favorite or the most rewarding part of coaching for you?
The most rewarding part is just seeing the ongoing development of athletes in my perspective. To me, that's the greatest thing about being a coach is seeing where you start on day one and then just continually seeing how the team, the girls, the individual, the position player are all just continually getting better day by day. To me, that's the barometer as a coach, because it's like if you're just as good on day one as you are on day 60, you know that you're probably not doing a great job as a coach. Development of players is super, super critical for me. I mean, I want players to feel like they are developing themselves at a rapid pace when they come into our program. And that they feel like they're better people and better players from where they started to when they leave. To me, that's the scale as a coach.
How do you know when player whatever Johnson is the day one and then all of a sudden day 30? Is it click in your mind that person has made a great elevation in talent or understanding, or how do you know?
Yeah, you can tell definitely. Okay. I mean, you see initial players, and obviously you're identifying their attributes, the things that they're doing well. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a part of your program, right? Because they already do things well. But as a coach, you kind of have a critical view and a little bit of a developmental mind, and it's like, okay, if she could get better at these couple things, it would make her that much better. And so you start working on that player on those few couple things. You don't want to overwhelm them. It's not like you're like, hey, we're going to completely change you as a player, and then you're going to be great. That I don't have enough time for that to happen with these players. So we identify 3 or 4 really key critical things that make you a more efficient volleyball player and get really good at those. And then over time, you just see that kind of translate into, better results for them as a player, better results individually, obviously impact the team as a whole. And so I think we're absolutely seeing that with a lot of our players. And we've had an interesting preseason too, where we've actually had some players start off in specific positions that are now in completely different positions. And literally had to switch positions because, one, it was for the good of the team, and 2, we just felt like their skill sets would be better suited for different positions than they were already playing. So,
okay, we have to ask. It's always obviously college sports has been changed in the last year and a half to 2 years with the NLI and all this money coming in. How does that affect you here at Eastern a lot with volleyball or not?
I mean, I want to say no, but that would be a lie. I mean, yeah, of course it does. We're a state school and we don't have revenue sharing, and it's. Do
the girls talk about it? Do they ask or
I haven't talked to the girls about it so much. I think they also acknowledge the reality of the situation that we're in, being the type of school that we are. I mean, what Dr. Gatrell and Tom do for the athletics program is awesome. I mean, they work with what they have to try to make the athletics programs as good as they can be. But we recognize that there's not this influx of, we don't have $22 million to share amongst the sports. You know what I mean? It's just the reality. So the people that I have run into and have worked with in my life that are most successful are the ones that acknowledge reality and deal with reality. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the best athletes, the best recruits that we can that want to be a part of something that's being grown and built, that we feel like is pretty special from a culture standpoint. And then, it's not like we're starving students. We got this beautiful new arena. We got this beautiful new locker room. So there is investment being pumped into the program. So it's not like we don't have anything to talk about when it comes to recruits, because we do. We have a lot of things that a lot of other schools don't.
The question I also want to talk about a little bit as we're running out of time here is, obviously you coach the volleyball team, but you also coach the beach volleyball team. Yeah. So when you recruit, do you recruit for both separately, or how's that work, or how do you keep track of that?
We're an indoor volleyball team forward, but when we recruit, we also talk about the beach volleyball program as well, because it's important to me. It's important to my staff. Yeah. Especially now that we've got this beautiful facility being built over in Linder Fields. We're going to have 6 beach volleyball courts there. There's not very many other programs in the nation that have 6 full-size beach volleyball courts in their facility. So it's a pretty special thing for us to have. And we're actually really excited about this upcoming recruiting class that we have for 2026, because we got some fantastic indoor players, but also that have some really, really good translatable beach volleyball skills as well. It's definitely, this recruiting class we have coming up is going to amplify our beach program to a great degree.
No, but there are separate ones that just play indoor only and not beach. Is that safe to say?
Not part of our program.
Okay.
Not currently. I could see that probably happening in the future.
But right now they're both.
But right now we share budget.
Okay.
So it's, if you play indoor, you also play beach.
Okay.
For Easter.
I'm just curious about that, how it works, because it's different, since beach is kind of the newest sport here on the EIU campus. We've got a minute and a half left. We're talking to Ryan Millar today. Any last question from you, Alex?
So you mentioned that the new facility helps with timing. Yeah. Beyond that, how do you think it's helped your team with how they practice?
Just having the space to be able to have for the girls to call their own is special enough for us. You know what I mean? No one else has access to the gym. They have full access all the time. So if they want additional reps, they know they can go in and they know where the balls are. They know the court is always available to them. They know how to turn on the lights, turn on the fans. So that alone is just a massive advantage for us. Plus, like I mentioned, we've just kind of christened the new locker room. So the locker room is a beautiful space where it's a space where they actually feel like they can go and hang out as well. Not only just do locker room stuff, but there's couches in there, TVs, there's a kitchen. So they want to go in there and actually decompress a little bit. So huge advantage for us.
Coach, it was great to meet you. I'm glad you got to come in, and I learned a lot about volleyball today. One last question. Where do you keep the gold medal?
The gold medal, I'm a little OCD about it, as you can probably imagine, so I always know where it is. Oftentimes, it's in my book bag because I travel a lot with it, because people want to see it.
Okay.
But when it's at home, I have a nice frame for it too. Cool. So,
hey, great. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I know middle of the season, it's so much to do. So, thank you. That is Coach Millar. We are WEIU.